Hello, and welcome to my review of Prey, the most recent Predator movie. Alright, so right off the bat, I've only seen this one, the first movie that they made, the 80s movie, and Aliens vs. Predator. So, this movie, it's just okay. Some people have been saying that this one is better than the first one, but from what I remember, this one is like nowhere close. It doesn't. This movie doesn't suck, but it's definitely not as good as that one. This movie takes on more of a serious tone, which I feel like is kind of like a detriment to it in a way. I feel like it kind of bogs down the movie because it's trying to mix a serious tone, kind of like a more like drama, character driven story with you know essentially a series that's about an alien comes from space and likes to hunt people. It doesn't really. It does. In my opinion, it doesn't really jive. I don't think that there's anything wrong with what they're going for. I just don't think it goes well with this movie because because they spend the screen time, you know, to kind of like set up the character and her motivation, but like they should save that for a different movie because I feel like people just want to see the aliens fight. Like I'm not like an action snob. Like I got no shame in being a man and saying that I haven't seen. I've seen all of Downton Abbey with my mom, right? With my mom, it wasn't on my own. But anyway, like I have no problem watching it. Just that's talking. But when you see a Predator movie, you just expect a certain kind of like thrill to it. And this, they replace kind of like the thrill with drama. Like it's not very like the first Predator movie. I'm sure if you're watching this review, if you've seen it, it's very very over the top um, violence with very 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 low, very like low ball writing, which this movie just kind of has. It doesn't even really have that crazy violence, in my opinion. It kind of looks. It's to me, it feels a little dialed back, but I think that's just because it's a penny on CGI. Like this movie, like half the time looks like something from like looks like I wouldn't say like a lot of times people say like, oh, this is like PS1. I'd say this is more like Xbox level, like Mortal Kombat. Like there's a part where she's like throwing and she like ties like a she ties a rope. The main character. I mean, I completely forget her name already. This yeah. She like ties a rope to her like her hatchet so she doesn't have to like retrieve it, which is like a smart thing. But it looks like Scorpion throwing like his dart in the Mortal Kombat movie, which I mean like that's an old movie too if you think about it, like the '90s or whatever, late '90s, early 2000s. I don't remember, but it doesn't look good. And the animals. Oh my gosh! I used to have this Cabela's game for PS2. There's a bear that looks exactly the same, giving me the same kind of nightmares when that thing like would run up on you. Um, yeah. So overall, this movie is just all right. The action's okay. The story, while it's an interesting premise, it's just kind of like whatever. Um, as far as like what what happens, I'm not gonna do spoilers in this review. I don't if you spoil this movie, then there's no point to it, and I'm pretty sure you can figure out what's going to happen anyway, right? If you've seen any other movies in this kind of in the, not this kind of this franchise, this Predator franchise, it's just whatever. Like not too good, not too bad. Like definitely don't get a Hulu subscription just to see this one. Uh, yeah, the characters are like whatever, which I was thinking really the reason why people just recognize the characters in the first one is just because the actors in this movie, as far as what I can tell, it doesn't have like any famous people in it, which I mean, might have helped to have more celebrities. I don't know. I don't know if it was even worth it. I don't know what the budget is for this movie. Um, sorry, this is my chair squeaking. What else should I talk about? Oh, I was gonna say I thought this movie was gonna be really, really, kind of like cringe to use a professional critic term, but it wasn't, surprisingly. So if you're like someone that's like kind of sick of the kind of like the Marvel flavor of cringe, like the Iron Man dropping down and like, oh, Jarvis, looks like we got company. That type of cringe. Then I wouldn't worry about it. This is more of like a straightforward, like, this movie is like a more of a blandness. There is some like parts that are kind of goofy, like I don't know if this is like a light spoiler, but there's a part where she, the main character, again, don't didn't even bother to like remember her name. They're not important. She straight up screams in the predator's face, and it's something to see. Like, if you're if you're a connoisseur of cringe, like that's pretty neat. It happens again with one of her tribes where they just absolutely like Bugs Bunny eyes popping out of the head scream at the predator, which, I mean, that's something to see. But besides that, I don't think there's really anything that's like, unless you're like completely bored. I know that there's not really a lot of stuff to watch these days. So if you're looking at from that perspective, it's probably worth a watch. Also, this movie, it's not like they don't really like waste your time like how lately movies have been like really long. This movie's like an hour 40, even though I feel like this movie could literally be like an 80-minute movie. There's not really anything to it. I don't even know why the movie is so long. Just thinking about it, just like maybe it's like the dialogue scenes or something. There's a lot of downtime in this movie. But anyway, yeah, people. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but people are saying that this movie is better than the first one. That's crazy. I have no idea where that's coming from. It's definitely not bad. It's not great. So if you happen to give it a watch, and if you've seen the other movies, like Predators or whatever naming convention they're using, feel free to let me know in the comments how it stands up to those. Yeah, so hopefully there'll be more movie reviews on this channel, and if let me know what kind of style of review, because full just to give you a peek behind the curtains, I've recorded like at least like 3 different reviews. One where I try to take it seriously, and this one is just kind of like my stream of consciousness, just like kind of like off rip, as my as my younger brother would say, just kind of my general thoughts and impressions. Like, I'm sure I'm leaving a ton of stuff out. But anyway, let me know what you think of the movie if you've seen it, and the other ones, or if there's any other movies you guys think I should take a look at. All right. Thanks, and have a good night.